Hi, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if today is your first time. I want to talk to you today a bit about our experience with E. coli. My husband got an E. coli infection, and so that was in October 2017. One early morning, he woke up with severe abdominal pain. And as he went to use the bathroom, he noticed that he had blood in his stool. And, you know, he didn't think much of it, but then the pain just got worse and worse until he couldn't bear it anymore. And whenever he would go to the bathroom, he would notice a lot of blood in his stool. So we made a decision, and so he went to the emergency room. And when he got to the emergency room, they took blood for his complete blood count and his comprehensive metabolic panel, and they took a stool sample to see what was going on. It turns out that actually, I guess because it was that same day that the problem started, his complete blood count was perfect. And his metabolic panel was actually pretty good, except for a little bit of elevated blood glucose level. And so we had to wait a bit, you know, to get the results for the stool test. And later on, they let us know that he had E. coli, and it was the sugar toxin producing E. coli. So usually in the emergency room, when they find out that you have E. coli, the standard of care is to not give any antibiotics, because they said antibiotics can actually worsen the condition. It can cause more like a breakdown of the bacteria very quickly, and that could cause possibly sepsis, you know, like a full-blown out blood infection. So he just had to come home with some pain medicine, and he was in terrible, severe pain. He was rolling on the floor. I had to rush to the pharmacy to get him the painkillers. You know, he needed the controlled substance painkillers, the narcotics, to even break a little bit of the pain. And it took a long time for him to recover. He had to stop working for a little bit there. He took some time off from work, and gradually he started to recover. But the blood in the stool took a few days to clear out. You know, you just have to wait it out and let it just all pass through your system. And so, you know, this kind of infection is reportable to the health authorities. So the Department of Health had to be notified. And then they called him a little while later, and they were asking him questions about what he thinks could have been the cause of it. The ER doctor supposed that it was because of contact with small kids in the school bus, because he drives the school bus. And sometimes the little kids, they use the bathroom and they don't wash their hands, and, you know, they know that it's a fecal-oral transfer of this kind of infection. So that's what the ER doctor was supposing. And the Department of Health, they were also suggesting that we just look and think back and see what else could have been a source of it. We know that contaminated food can be a source of it. You know, and it was around that time that he loves to eat meat, and he learned that raw meat is really good for your health and your skin. And because of some health issues in the past, he had been eating raw meat. And, you know, we got the raw meat from the health food store, but, you know, you never know when other meats are cut in the same facility or not. We don't know that. And that also led to why we started getting meat from the farmer himself, and the farmer that we know, and we know how they raise their animals. And so anyway, around the same time, like a little bit before he had the infection, we remember buying some kimchi from the health food store. And we think maybe the kimchi could have had something to do with it. It's hard to tell, you know. But anyway, we decided that after that, we looked into a lot of, research and from the USDA and FDA, and then we came upon this article talking about you can kill E. coli by boiling water for at least a minute. So that's why we started boiling the meat. So the outside is cooked pretty well, and even if the inside is raw, you still feel like you're protected. And so gradually he started getting better, and we resolved that anytime we want to or need to eat something raw concerning meat especially, we have to cook the outside for a minute, sorry. And so that's why I made that video, the previous video, to let you know how we cook our liver. And sometimes even with raw meat, like the beef roast, like the rump roast, that is pretty, it doesn't have a lot of fat, so it's not as savory. We just cook that the same way as the liver, and that you can just cut up, and the outside is gonna be cooked, but the inside is gonna be raw, and you can eat that as raw meat. And actually that really helps with health too. Like you can see a change in your skin. And if those out there who have like acne, you can see acne actually clearing up by eating raw meat like that. But you gotta make sure that it's 100% grass-fed, It's been shown that there is some evidence in some studies showing that the cows that eat grain have E. coli in their gut, and that can be transferred to the meat when it's cut up, and there isn't like precautions to not contaminate the meat. And sometimes they do a good job, at the butcher, they try as much as possible not to contaminate. And there's always inspections that go on from the USDA, but you can't be perfect. It's not a sterile procedure, so sometimes there could be cross-contamination. And so just to be safe, just boil the meat for at least a minute, so that you can be sure that you're clearing those kind of toxic bacteria. So I just wanted to share that, just to let you know one reason behind why we cook the meat like that. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit more as time goes on and as things progress on this channel. I want your opinion. Let me know what you think about E. coli, cross-contamination with meat, and during the butchering process, and what you think about boiling water. Let me know. We can share our thoughts here, and if anybody has some more insight into this, you can also let me know. I'll let you know. I can actually give you a peek at what his records showed from the ER, and you can take a look and see. And okay, so this is my husband's record from the ER from October 2017. And you can see that here is the detected results for the E. coli. Looks like there are 2 strains, and he had the second strain. And after a while, it cleared out of his system. He had to go back and get it retested, and he found out that everything was cleared. So we were happy about that, and then we took a lot of great precautions after that. Okay, I'll be talking to you soon, and have a great day. Bye.